Hi there, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Vicky Smith, sports scientist for PGMOL. Good afternoon, Vicky.
Afternoon, Chris.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Great. Now, as I've just mentioned, PGMOL sports scientist, but not recently. Where have you been?
I've had the opportunity to be away at the Women's Euros, based down in Reading, base camp for the match officials, and that's where I've been for the last 3.5 weeks, and released just after the quarterfinals.
Brilliant. So, how have you found it, sort of being there full time in camp rather than doing your day job, so to speak?
It's been very different, but very similar at the same time. A lot of themes run similar to the way we run our camps, but instead of 2-3 days with PGMO camp, it's 3 to 4 weeks away at the Euros. So loads of the same themes, though. We're essentially there to maximise performance, minimise injury risk, and just contribute to the overall success of the tournament for the match officials.
Brilliant. Well, as we all know, the Euros, we've got all the teams from around Europe and also match officials team from various countries. Have you noticed much of a difference in the preparation from those match officials compared to the English team?
There's always a range when you're going to get a group of officials coming from all across Europe and the world. There's always going to be some differences in how they prepare, how they sort of train at home, but generally the principles are the same, and it's actually a wonderful situation to be in, bringing athletes from all those different countries together to learn off each other, as well as try and help develop them. Obviously, the main focus of why we're there is to prepare them in the best possible way for their games. But there's also opportunities for development, athletic development and learning here, while I've got the chance with them. So yeah, there's all the same in terms of how they approach and the professionalism and how they try their best to service the game. It's of the utmost profession, and it's awesome to be around.
Vicky, I'm fascinated to know you spend a lot of time together, the refereeing teams and all the support staff. What's the camaraderie like behind the scenes?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's camaraderie and off the pitch stuff that really gets you through a tournament like that, and being there, for so long away from your family and friends. So to have that off field buzz and excitement and just a real team ethic is just essential. It's essentially a load of athletes from across Europe and the world sharing life stories, sharing experiences, and sharing a massive love for the game. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I can tell by the smile on your face, you've been really enjoying yourself, haven't you?
I certainly have, yeah. I literally came back yesterday, so it's very fresh. Amazing to be back and back with my family, but what a buzz to be around, the biggest, one of the biggest tournaments in the women's game, and to have the opportunity was just fantastic.
Wonderful. I've got a question I'm dying to ask you. Give us a rundown of what happens in a day, an average day in camp.
Gosh. So essentially we're starting the day with breakfast and training. In the morning, there'll be generally 3 sessions going on. Those on match day -1, those on match day -2, and those in main training. And between myself and the other fitness coaches, we'll make sure those sessions are delivered in the morning. I'd then generally be straight back in after that to meet the team that came off the game the day before, so match day +1, and make sure their recovery is delivered in a constructed and appropriate way. Recovery is king, we say. It's just as important as what's going on before the games, because tournament football can come thick and fast, especially in the group stage. So we have to make sure those guys and girls are as prepared for the next one as the first one, and recovery is just key to that. So that I'd generally be seeing them on the bikes in the pool, going through a bit of yoga and mobilization work. Then there's an opportunity for a bit of lunch. We were really, really lucky to have Gatorade Sports Science Institute working with us. So they were on hand to make sure that we've got optimal fueling for performance, for recovery, optimal hydration strategies. All the officials were provided with their bespoke hydration strategies in terms of how much and whether or not they needed additional electrolyte support. So that was brilliant at lunchtime, a really performance-focused sort of environment. And then generally afternoon, I would have the opportunity to put on additional extra support sessions, mainly gym-based as opposed to pitch in the morning, for those that have the opportunity to develop and enhance in additional areas. So it's a weird situation because their main focus is obviously, and quite rightly, the tournament. But when they get home, their seasons are starting, so they need to make sure they're developing as well as maintaining, if that makes sense, at that stage of the season. So I really enjoyed helping them achieve that. And then we go again, have a little meeting in the evening to plan and make sure we're all good to go for the next day, start again.
Goodness me, fascinating stuff. It sounds like you've been really busy and you've enjoyed yourself. So thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us. It's been really insightful.
You're very, very welcome. Thanks for talking to me.